This is Jacqueline with Sound Body Wisdom. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So in this episode, we will be exploring our inner listening and the different ways our body communicates with us outside of our thinking and thought. We're going to feel into the wisdom of feeling through the body, our felt sense, our inner sense, our somatic awareness. So our inner landscape it's abundant and it's layered with information, with insight, intelligence, wisdom, and so much more. But often we can isolate our concept or our access to information and this idea of intelligence or what we know to our brains, our intellect, right? Thinking as opposed to feeling. And that's great for some situations and to a certain degree. But I'm here to offer and remind us that we also need to open to and learn to listen to what our bodies have to share, to offer us, to teach us. That our bodies and our minds, the conscious, unconscious thoughts, feelings, behavior, all are interconnected, all informing one another in an ever unfolding dance of reciprocity. And I think it's really helpful to acknowledge here that what most of us have learned, or the predominant culture, it's weighted towards the intellect, towards thinking, and all that we can measure or pinpoint. And so I'm suggesting that we need to balance this with leaning in, learning, developing, giving at least equal space for our senses, for our internal knowing, the subjective, our feeling, the immeasurable, that which is the intelligence of the fullness that is us, right? This mind-body matrix that is us. So to put it bluntly, our intelligence and all we know is incredibly expansive, and it stretches through all the layers of mind and body and wherever we have a pulse in our living cells. Yeah, so maybe take a breath and sit with how that resonates with you. The ways you feel into that. The ways you both want to understand it intellectually and the places you know you have to surrender intellect. And it's not lost on me that I am recording this and I'm using language, right, to offer information and talk about this. And my intention is always to offer information to the thinking aspect of you, the listening, but that it includes a bridge or a possibility for connecting into exploration, for you to soften from intellect into your own felt experience, your embodiment, so that you can develop how you can bridge mind and body and the many layers within these realms, not as separate, but as interconnected. There's interplay between feeling, sensing, discernment, communication, the sensations and articulation, the knowing and feeling, meaning, and building relationship with our expansive self. So whether this is familiar terrain for you or something really new, I invite you to soften and explore. Because our somatic awareness, our inner sense, our felt sense, it has a central role in our personal growth, our connection with ourselves, and also within somatic-based therapies, because it really is at the heart of somatic practices. I also want to acknowledge that the phrase felt sense was first coined in the 70s by philosopher and psychologist Eugene Gandlin. And within his work, it is understood and developed a little bit differently than how I explore felt sense and what I offer here. Gandlin, like many people, was looking for a way to articulate the significance of learning from our bodies and minds in connection. And while he coined the term, the concept has grown as our wisdom has grown, as we discover how we each make it our own. So for me, felt sense is informed by awareness, feeling, intuition, embodiment, implicit awareness, cellular wisdom, and more. It's where all of these converge as a source of insight and potentially for healing and growth. It's sensations and feelings that express within the body. And as we bring awareness to these sensations and feelings, they can emerge or reveal insights in so many different ways. And they might be vague, or it can be a more broad sensation, or it can be a sense of a certain familiar emotion, but maybe how they're moving in the body, or where they're moving in the body, or even how a thought can translate into sensation. It can be an inkling or even a tickling of something, right? Something that is felt inside, but it's emerging as a sensation, not just in thought. And you might notice it, and as you try to describe it, you realize that you really find yourself using many different words, trying to get to the heart of it. Or it might be more understood through image, where you might say, wow, I kind of have this sense like I'm floating on water, but there's something below the surface. Or maybe it expresses as a quality, such as, I feel this warmth and a sense of being held. And a felt sense, it can emerge in relation to an experience, a situation, maybe a decision you're making, an event, a person, the many different parts of us, basically life. And these sensations and our awareness of what's there, they can offer insight. They can offer a knowing on a deeper level. And they can offer us meaningful information because it's emerging from within the non-intellectual layers of information and intelligence within us, within our bodies, our minds, our cells, right? All of this coalescing into this transmission of insight through this sense within the body. And since implicit awareness is part of our inner sense, our felt sense, they're intertwined, I wanted to say just a little bit about it, because our implicit awareness is like this vast library, this vast realm within us of information and experience, and it exists outside our conscious awareness. It's something that also informs things like our instinct and our intuition. In neuroscience, implicit awareness is considered the capacity to be aware of something without explicitly or consciously knowing it. So our felt sense, it taps into this. Our wisdom taps into this and so much more. And then offers this information to us as an expression of knowing and meaning for us through sensations in the body. Okay, so as you might have guessed, bringing your awareness to your inner landscape, the space within the body, it means slowing down, bringing our attention there, our listening. And our inner landscape it's dynamic, it's ever shifting. We can miss cues and sensations that it's offering, or we might even decide to ignore them, perhaps because it's unfamiliar or uncomfortable. Or maybe the abundance of external stimulus, it distracts us, or we allow other things to be a priority and pull focus. So the path for developing our relationship with our inner sense, or our felt sense, it's about slowing down, listening inwardly, being present with yourself and with your inner experience. And this can be no small feat sometimes, right? In the world today, the focus in day-to-day life is weighted towards the external. Not to mention that in our lives there are also many reasons or events that can have contributed to us disconnecting from our bodies, and we might not have even noticed. Some reasons can be from when we were really young, or others can be more recent. It might be a specific painful event, or it can be an environment that didn't feel safe, or there was chaos or power dynamics. So each of us, we've lived through our unique life experiences, and we embody them all differently. And we may or may not have lost touch with our bodies or our inner sense, or maybe to varying degrees. So sharing about it here, it's an opportunity to check in with yourself. Engage in your own wisdom for what this might mean or feel like for you, right? How do you relate to it? Ultimately, awareness and connection with our body, our inner sense, our felt sense, this mind-body complex, it takes an openness to being present. This is a practice of remembering and relearning and listening to the body. It's not an exacting map with specific instructions, but exploring what you notice and what it means to you. This somatic awareness, this felt sense, the tuning inward to sensation, feeling, emotion, and energy in the body, it is nuanced. It can, at times be elusive. It can be subtle, and it can carry rich and abundant information about our emotional and mental states, about our insight in knowing in any given situation, about our authentic self that dwells at our center, and relationship to all the various parts of us living within. There is a transmission, a translation, a mediation that is in constant motion that we can tune into. The physical sensations and cues, when we notice, listen, and get curious, they're cues and they're clues that can guide us in our exploration through thoughts, emotions, and relational dynamics within. And our felt sense, this somatic awareness, is a continuous tuning in to better know ourselves and learn from what is moving within us, to gain insight into what underlies our emotions, our actions, behavior, our perceptions that are externally expressed, or where we might want to understand and learn more about ourselves, gain insight for growth or change or healing. And that's why developing our somatic awareness, right, our inner sense, is significant. It's a guide and a resource. It supports us bridging our minds and bodies to create more cohesion, more accessibility to the abundance of insight that dwells within us. It offers access to more layers of meaningful information about ourselves, like what inspires, informs, and shapes us. Through our awareness and tuning in, we can connect the essential communication between mind and body and our full wisdom as we lean into this fullness, right? The fullness for our overall health and balance and well-being. So, so how do we begin? How do we cultivate this listening and this awareness within, right? Well, we learn to tune in, to deepen our listening and our presence towards the sensations in our inner landscape, what's moving within us. So, in support of this, I want to offer a guided visualization to explore and develop your connection to your inner landscape. And as always, what I offer are suggestions, and you can, and I really encourage you to modify, get creative, notice what inspires you. And I also want to say that in general, go slowly. Just notice what you notice. It's the difference between, sort of jumping in the deep end and maybe dipping your toes and wading into the water a little more gently. See if you want to experience getting fully immersed. So gentleness, slow presence with listening. Notice what you notice. This is the path. Yeah, and if you notice any sensations of overwhelm or disconnecting from your body, you can do a few things, but I'll offer one that just helps you refocus your attention, right, to the present moment. And if your eyes are closed, just open your eyes and look around the room. Notice yourself in a body, in space. Engage in direct focus at objects and say out loud a description of them. Like, I see a brown framed mirror. I see a red and black rug. Notice temperature. Identify shapes. It shifts you into the present moment, engaging a different part of the brain, a couple different parts of the brain, and helps you get present again. You can also just put your hands on your body, feel the boundary of your physical body, notice that you are here in space in the moment. So if at any time during the visualization you're noticing discomfort that might be a sense of overwhelm or disconnect, or you just want to shift gears, you can go to that. Because it's a really clear exercise that can bring you back to present time. Okay, so I want to offer a modified version of what I call a body scan exercise. And I offer a 10-minute guided practice of this exercise. I believe it's in episode 5. I think it's called Awareness Insight. So if you want to check that episode out at another time, I invite you to do that. So in the body scan, we slow down. We use visualization and bring our awareness, and we guide it towards tuning into our body through layers of our senses. So for now, find a place you can be comfortable, sitting or lying down. And if it's possible, let your eyes close. And we'll do this for about the next 15 minutes or so. And if now's not the time for you to do this, you can go ahead and hit pause and save this for another time. So as you get comfortable, just gently letting your eyes close, allow yourself to take a few deep and easy breaths. Allowing the breath to come in and to exhale at your own rhythm. Allowing the breath to help settle you little by little into your body in this moment. And then as you take another breath, as you exhale, I want you to notice your skin. Tune into how your clothes make contact with your skin. The texture, the quality of the contact. Maybe notice the temperature of the air and how it also touches your skin. And as you're tuning in, just notice, is there any area on your body that you notice more than another? Places that feel different from one another. And just take a few more moments as you notice what you notice. Now bring your attention to where your body is making contact with wherever you are, sitting or lying down. And sense your weight, allowing gravity to settle you in and for your body to be held. Notice the sensation of this contact with your body, the places of contact. Notice what you notice. Notice what feels different. Now, using your mind's eye, your imagination, we're going to take a short journey within the inner landscape. We're going to start at the feet, and I'll guide you upward as you explore. So bring your mind's eye, your awareness, using your imagination within your feet, as if you were a tiny version of yourself, able to take this inner trek. Allow yourself to imagine being within the small bones of the feet, the tendons, the fascia, the nerves, the blood flowing. So see where your mind's eye takes you. Notice if you're in the left foot, the right foot, as you immerse yourself in this inner realm, this inner landscape, deeply engaging as this smaller version of yourself on an exploration. See how sensation might follow where your imagination goes. Or maybe its sensation is what actually called your awareness. So sometimes sensation follows the imagination, and sometimes imagination follows our sensation. So just notice what you notice and allow yourself to explore. What qualities do you notice? Or colors, temperature, density. Is there anywhere that you notice has less sensation or more? Is there a specific area that you want to direct more curiosity towards? So allow yourself a few more breaths to continue to notice what you notice. And on your next exhale, allow your exploration to continue as you move up, around and through the ankles, and into your shins, your calves. Allow yourself to explore, going from front to back, all around. Notice if you stay in one area or if you move your attention more often. Do you find yourself in the larger landmarks of bone, or do you dive into the small of the cells? Is it more surface or into the marrow? Notice the connections, or any place where there is less connection. Qualities, images, emotions, a sense of openness or avoidance. So much on the spectrum that can emerge. Simply notice what you notice within yourself. And as you're ready, continue up the body into the larger muscles, the larger areas of the legs, into the hips, where we meet the spine at the tailbone. As we head towards the torso, and if there's ever a place where you feel you want to spend more time, you can keep exploring as I continually guide us upwards. Do whatever you feel you want to do, and just notice what you notice. As you head into the space of the torso, allowing yourself to explore all the organs that are here, the spine, so many layers. Just let your imagination and the sensation guide your curiosity. Notice if you feel more drawn to bones or tissue, blood vessels, cells. As you continue up into the shoulders, you can take a trek down through the arms, into the hands, again the small bones, nerve endings. You can go into the neck. Notice what you notice. As we can explore the head, all the openings of our eyes and ears. You can explore the hair follicles, the tissue of the brain, cerebral spinal fluid. Notice what you notice. Notice what sensations or what you discover in your mind's eye as you explore. You might be surprised. It might be unclear. Just keep bringing your presence, your awareness as you tune in. And in your next exhale, just allow yourself to tune in and sense the fullness of your body, your whole body, head to toe. This thread of connection that you've woven your way through the body. Just notice the connection. Taking a few breaths. Easy, soft focus. And just feel those threads of awareness you've woven as you've gone through. Just take a few breaths here and notice what you notice. You might sense some areas more clearly than others. And just feel the body connected. Now bring your attention to your heart. Your heart that amazingly generates a significant electromagnetic field with each heartbeat. The heart it's a physical space, but then also this energetic space. A place we often associate with emotions, past, present, future. A place of spirit, of power, of vulnerability. And notice what you notice, bringing your awareness here, tuning into sensation. What's present? What are the qualities you're noticing? Just let yourself breathe fully, easily, here in this space of the heart. Just notice what catches your attention and your curiosity. What do you hear? What do you see? What do you feel? Let yourself soften into it. Just take a couple more breaths here in this space within yourself. And then slowly we're going to bring our focus out from the deep inside, just layer by layer, bringing the focus externally with each breath, letting yourself move outwardly through the layers of the inner body. As you arrive back at your skin, and maybe at first you're at the inside of your skin, bring yourself outside again to the external sensation of your skin. Just take a couple breaths here to notice what you notice. The shift from the internal landscape back to the external landscape of the body. As you again can notice contact with your body, the surface that you're sitting or lying on. Noticing temperatures, sounds. Take just a few more deep breaths at your own rhythm. As you slowly start to wiggle your toes, move your fingers. You can slowly start to maybe rock your body, shifting your weight. Waking up the external movement back into presence in this body gently. And in the next breath or so, allow yourself to gently open your eyes. Look around the space and notice what you notice. Bridging the experience internally with the presence of being in the external space. The sensations are still present that you experienced on your inner journey. And simultaneously, you notice yourself externally in space, in your body, in the world. So what did you notice in this time that we could tune in to the inner sensations? What surprised you? Were there places you thought for sure would have something to say or you would connect to, and you were surprised that maybe there was less connection? Or other places that really called out? Or places that your imagination went and connected into things you couldn't have known would have been there? Yeah, just notice what you notice about the experience and what came, what didn't come. And know that this is something you can do with yourself. You can set aside 5 minutes, guide yourself through, tune in, and use this visualization of, this way of bringing your mind's eye inside as a way to sort of play with the inner landscape and tune into it. And invite yourself to listen and also say to your inner world, I'm here. Yeah, I'm receptive. What's here for me? I would like to receive it. I'm paying attention. So there's a relationship there of showing up and listening. And often it's not about answers or being specific. It's this practice of tuning in and being present with sensations, and then finding our own way with how we make meaning with it, being curious, softening into our kindness and our awareness. And the more you practice this, the more natural it becomes, right? This relationship to listening within yourself. It becomes like breathing, and then it deepens. So this guided visualization, this exercise is just one way. There's so many ways to tune in and develop your connection with your inner landscape, to cultivate connection, listening, and a relationship with your emotions, with the expression of the different parts of you, with felt sense, your intuitive self, and the many layers of energy, experience, knowledge, insight, and so much more, all that are living within your mind-body matrix, within you, within the fullness of you, and not limited to just logic or intellect, because we're so much more. There's so much wisdom and resource within us, and we get to keep exploring ways of tuning in and touching in and connecting, developing these relationships with ourselves. We connect the many ways of knowing, the knowing within us, and we lean in. We allow ourselves to learn and grow in new ways. We really are amazing, and it's quite the journey, this being human. Okay, as always, it is a pleasure to have this time with you. If you haven't already checked out my website, it is soundbodywisdom.com. You can send a message there. I love getting comments. And I invite you to check out earlier episodes of this podcast. Until next time, this has been Jacqueline with Sound Body Wisdom. Take good care.